Hey everybody, wanted to just share this quick video blog with you about considerations for setting up a home workout space if you haven't already done so. We've been working out at home now for almost 5 months, and so I've been through multiple renditions of how I work out at home, train clients live online, and also do group fitness classes. So I just wanted to share a little bit about that. Most times we think that we need this big grand space to work out in, but really just a small little corner will give you exactly what you need. Of course, depending on what your traditional workouts look like, if you've been going to big gyms, it might be a little bit more of a transition, but a small space and few pieces of equipment can really give you exactly what you need for benefits that you're looking for, again, depending on each person. So a few key essentials besides just a place where you can just have an identified space so you're not constantly having to pack up and unpack your equipment is super helpful. And then from there, some dumbbells. You know, I consider sort of 3 sets of dumbbells, kind of your lighter set, your medium, moderate set, and then your heavy set. That will really provide what you need. And so you can kind of see the variety I have behind me. From there, I also love to work out with a kettlebell. So having one kettlebell, if you don't have kettlebell experience, probably wouldn't recommend that. But if you have kettlebell experience, you kind of know what the one weight would be that will give you the most bang for your buck, so you don't have to have a ton of different weights sitting around. But the nice thing about a kettlebell versus a dumbbell is just the way that it's going to interact with your body, being that the load is so much more centralized into one small location as opposed to the dumbbell where it's, you know, on 2 sides of the weight. So you can do a lot of the same exercises with the kettlebell as the dumbbell, plus some really specialty kettlebell exercises, and all of that is going to just provide a different experience on the body. So that is another great piece to have. Of course, a mat is going to be helpful unless you're working out in a carpeted area. The puzzle piece mats are great. A lot of our clients have been using those over this period of time. You can grab them at Home Depot, and they're nice because they provide some good cushioning, good protection for the knees if you're doing anything in a kneeling position, and they're super duper cost effective. From there, we like to use a lot of bands. So having some resistance tubing that has the handles along with a way to anchor them is great, because there's a lot of variability and, again, a different type of stimulus on the body. So an anchoring system, particularly on the wall if possible, is what I like. I like to have a setup where there's a low anchor, which is about the shin, a mid-level anchor, which is about knee or quad, and then what I consider a high anchor, which when you're standing would fall at like shoulder height. That way you can adjust and do different band exercises from different heights. The bands are also great because in the training that we do, we're doing kind of a lot of preventative exercises in terms of preventing injury, keeping muscles moving through their full range of motion, sort of active flexibility and mobility type exercises. So the bands are super helpful with that. And then the other essential band piece would be like the circle band, which we use for a lot of lower body exercises, and again, a lot of warm-up exercises and whatnot. So we use these constantly, and these are super cost effective, just as the tubing is. Plus you can take them with you, and they don't take up a lot of space the way a lot of the heavier weights do. So you'd like that. And then from there, of course, is the foam roller, an essential piece for myofascial release, self-massage, especially if you're not comfortable going to get regular body work right now. The foam roller goes a long way in a lot of variety, and again, super cost effective, so you'll want one of those. And I prefer the nice long ones as opposed to the shorter versions, because they just give you a little bit more variety, and sometimes we use them as a bench. They can also double as a stability ball as well for some exercises. And then last but not least are the TRX straps. I have them not hanging up yet because the space that I am in is new for me. And so another critical piece when you're getting started working out at home is don't go too permanent with your setup too quickly. You want to be able to work out in your space for, you know, a week or two, or maybe up to a month, to kind of figure out how you move and flow through a workout in a particular space. Just as when you go to the gym and work out, you have a certain routine, and you probably, without even realizing it, you probably have a certain way that you like to move through the gym and complete your workout. So the same thing is going to happen at home. So before you put anything too permanent into your workout space, including like anchors on the wall, which is why this isn't hanging up right now, because I work out with it outside at this point. And once I've used the space that you see surrounding me for a while, I will then figure out where I'm going to permanently attach this. But TRX is great because it doesn't take up a lot of space. It packs a ton of punch into the workout. When I do hang this up, I prefer to be able to have a lot of motion, you know, so 360 degrees of motion. So I know for sure that I'm going to anchor it into the ceiling, which is how I had it before we finished off this space. That way I have plenty of left and right movement. I have plenty of forward and back movement. So I'm not going to have to worry about my feet being too close to the wall or having that limitation. So if you are considering the TRX straps, and depending on the type of living situation you have going on, they do anchor with an over-the-door anchor if that's your best option, and that can definitely work well. We do have clients that do use that option. But if you have a little more flexibility in your home, a consideration is to be able to anchor it up high from the ceiling, as well as outside is lovely too. So those are really what I consider to be the critical components for the home gym. You'll see that I have a bike here that I'm using as my anchor point right now while I determine where more permanent anchors will be put in for the bands. So cardio wise, spinning bike can be great. We do live spinning classes, but the spinning bike also allows clients to get some cardio on their own outside of spinning class, you know, on rainy days and whatnot when they're not going outside. Rowing machine is also great, provides that full body cardio, and is great for doing short, you know, intervals at high intensity as well. So the rowing machines are great. Treadmills, most people are getting rid of treadmills as opposed to having them in the house, but certainly depending on what your style is, that can be a useful tool too. And then of course the elliptical trainer, we actually have clients who are taking our live spinning classes, but doing the workout on an elliptical trainer. So my top three in cardio would probably be the spinning bike, the rowing machine, and the elliptical trainer, depending on what your, you know, interest area is in fitness. With the treadmill kind of running dead last, simply because it's not going to be quite as exciting. But we do have clients that do our spinning classes on a treadmill too every once in a while. So those are your pieces. You can do it for as little or as much cost as you want. I highly recommend just starting minimal and kind of taking it from there as you get your bearings straight on working out at home and what that is going to look and feel like for you, and whether you're just working out solo, whether you're using an app and following a workout, whether you're doing a workout video on the TV. So you really have to take a lot of things into consideration, but you do not need to spend a lot of money. You do not need a huge and expansive space. The last biggest critical piece is if you get bored or you're not motivated to do it on your own, is to be able to connect with an online workout group of some sort, which I think is been the secret to our success in keeping people working out consistently, is that we are still connecting in person just the way we would if we were going to a physical location, but now we can do that more efficiently and more safely without a commute and just the separation of a screen, and that's been working out well. So if you think that might be a fit for you, we'd love to talk to you about the programming that we're providing throughout the day and throughout the week. So hopefully this was a little bit helpful. If you need any assistance in getting your home gym set up, I would encourage you to also reach out to me. And if you're having a hard time getting equipment, talk to me. We've been able to source equipment for people quite efficiently at this point after having to wait for a few months. So look forward to talking to you soon.